Hi, this is Simone with Ruby Dragon, and we're doing a 3-card tarot spread for the week of October 20th to the 27th. I am using the Rider-Waite Radiant Tarot deck. I will tell you that I chose these cards beforehand because I want us to take a look at 3 Major Arcana cards that can sometimes make people feel uneasy when they come up in a reading. I will give you a brief overview of their traditional interpretation, but we're going to be focusing on the empowering and positive aspects of these cards and how to work with their energies in the coming days. We're going to be highlighting all cards from a place of limitation and what we choose to do with that. The first card is death. So the traditional interpretation of death is about endings. It can be the ending of a love affair or a relationship or a career. Sometimes it can be sad, but death is also about beginnings. So endings and beginnings, those are transitions that we go through in our lives, otherwise known as change. And think about that. How do you embrace change when it appears in your life? Do you fear change or do you accept it? Death is your invitation to look at limitations in regard to fear of change. You can see in this card that there is a figure laying on the ground, and there's a crown next to the head. Crowns symbolize our ideas, our beliefs, our concepts, the things that we know or think we know. It's the only figure that's been trampled in this card. So death tells you that you have to let go of old beliefs, old ideas, old concepts in order to create space for new beginnings, which is symbolized by the sun rising in the background. If you choose to make change happen for you rather than letting change happen to you, this is always a positive card. The next card we're going to see is the devil. Now, the devil traditionally can mean addiction, abusive relationships, self-sabotage, or unhealthy patterns in your life. Now, we're looking at this again in terms of limitation. So the devil is about inner limitations that occupy us. We may or may not be aware of them. The devil can also indicate that you are in denial about these limitations. So your invitation here with the symbolism of these two figures is that these chains are loose enough that they can pull them right over their head and be free. Your invitation then is, what will you choose? Will you choose to be empowered, or will you choose to do more of the same? So this is the time to really take a look at the things in your life that are way outdated, that are not serving your highest good, and be brave to make that change. The last card is the Tower, and I will say that this is probably not one of my favorite cards when I get it in a reading, just because of the chaos that's happening in it. Everything seems so sudden. And the traditional interpretation of this card can be about catastrophe or chaos, a sudden disruption to your life. When we look at this in symbolism, though, in terms of limitation, you see that there's a lightning bolt coming from above. And again, we have this crown being blasted off the top of the tower. We have the crown over here as well. So what does that mean? That means that here we have this tower that we've built, like walls around ourselves or a certain structure in our lives, and we're unwilling to change. And something sudden, like a sudden insight, a sudden challenge comes through. And it makes us really investigate how is our inner limitation being reflected to us in our outer experiences. It's time to make a change. Be brave, again, have that courage to do what is necessary and good, and free yourself from the old ways of thinking. One more note on these cards is that they each have light. You have the sunlight in the background, the light in the torch here, and you have the lightning bolt coming from above. And that is very symbolic, that when we release our limitations, our fear, denial, self-sabotage, judgment, or illusions, and we accept the light of change when it comes to us, our spirits are free to soar, and we're able to meet our potential and live our best lives. There is a quote that Richard Bach wrote in his book, Illusions, Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah, that says, "Argue for limitations and they're yours." Pay attention to that in the coming days and ask yourself, are you ready to be free? Hope you all have a beautiful day, and remember, you can schedule an appointment with any one of our intuitive readers. We'll look forward to seeing you in the shop. Bye-bye.